Okay, so this is in regards to case study number 2. The purchasers of the Menda people, Jose Ruiz and Pedro Montes, testified during the proceedings of the Amistad trial that found them doing all they could to avoid being found guilty of illegally importing Africans into Cuba. In an interview published in the New York Herald on the 9th of September, Ruiz claimed he first saw the slaves working in fields on the outskirts of Havana, and at the time made no inquiries as to where they had come from, but added they were clearly Cuban-born. These two cohorts were right to fear being convicted of aiding the importation of slaves into the Isle of Cuba. For men under American law, they could be punished justifiably by death. The death penalty was made under the Act of May 15th of 1820 that finally outlawed slave trading within the U.S. and its territories, and stating any citizen of the United States being of the crew or ship's company that aids or abets in the importation of slaves shall be put to death. At the end of the trial, Ruiz and Montes were found guilty of this form of piracy, for they lied during the Amistad trial by saying that they thought the Mende people were Cuban-born. What had really happened was they gained passports for their illegally purchased slaves by presenting Captain General's office with false documents, claiming they were Cuban-born or, quote, Latinos. In Ronald Dworkin's book, Law's Empire, one part of the 6th chapter on integrity is called Internal Compromises, and this discussion, aided with deliberations from the Elmer's case, could be used to solve the question of whether Jose Ruiz and Pedro Montes should have their convictions upheld. Within the internal compromise discussion, Dworkin says, if there must be compromise because people are divided about justice, then the compromise must be external, not internal. It must be a compromise about which scheme of justice to adopt, rather than a compromise scheme of justice. It would be difficult to say that the Mende people were deserving of freedom, and their captors, invokers of brutal living standards, should also go free. Dworkin, at this precise point in the text on internal compromises, would have contended that the freedom of the captors would be a strike against the integrity of law. By integrity, Dworkin means that the laws and the court's decision need to strike the right balance and answer all the questions that a problem presents.